Hi. Nope, nope, I don't want that one. Hi. Hold on, I'll start in a minute. I'm just gonna put a little banner up on the screen. Comment, let me know who's watching. I know I'm like super late. I didn't plan on being this late, and I was hoping the others would join me to talk about what happened today, but everybody's exhausted, so I'll just go through the story real quick so I don't have to keep telling it. Just give me a minute. Okay, um, so today wait, hold on a second. Sorry. All right, so start from the beginning. Last week I came across somebody sent to me a post about a parent in Massachusetts that was dealing with a DCF situation. And DCF is the Department of Children and Families, the legal kidnappers, the people who take kids away from neglectful and abusive parents, so they say. And I've had my own situations with DCF, and that is actually the reason why I became an activist. So usually when people see DCF stories or somebody who needs help or advice, they send them to me, or I send them to somebody who has more information or more resources than I do. Um, so we came across a story about a week ago about a parent in Massachusetts who was looking for help because his 15-month-old son was going to be force jabbed with the um, D-jab. And obviously, like, he wasn't seeing any way that he was going to be able to stop it. And he has a public attorney, so we already know that he's at a disadvantage there. And so I reached out to the person who made the post. They put me in contact with the dad, and we reached out to some other people, tried to find some other resources, anybody who could help with the legal aspect of it. And we haven't had very much luck with that so far. So the baby is supposed to be getting the jab this Friday. So we figured, like, let's just take a chance and do a protest. At least that will help raise some awareness and maybe put some pressure and cause some shame to these people who work for DCF to listen to the father, who does still have rights over his child, even though he doesn't have custody of him. And so we did a little protest today, and It was going well. We were making some noise outside. We did a little press conference. We were telling a story. We were holding signs. And then, so just before I get into what actually happened, the baby's name is Nathaniel R. Triplett. And Nathaniel Triplett is also the father's name. So you can see scrolling across the bottom of the screen, I have call Lawrence DCF and tell them not to give the jab to baby Nate with the phone number. So if you feel inclined to do so, please call Lawrence DCF tomorrow and the next day and keep calling them and telling them not to jab this baby and actually to give this baby to his dad, because his dad was not given due process in this ongoing case that he has. The child was removed from the mother's custody and the mother's home, and the mother and father are not married and don't live together. So the first option should have been for them to reach out to dad and see if dad was able to take his son, because of whatever allegations were made against the mother. While DCF does their investigation, maybe the son could be with dad. That should be the first thing that they do. But they didn't do that. They just took him and put him into foster care. And there was a family member who tried to take temporary custody of him, and they denied it for whatever stupid reason they denied it. That's what they do. And so this baby is with strangers. Nobody knows who the baby's with. And the father has been misled and misguided throughout the entire case, was instructed by his public attorney to waive his rights to a hearing, which he should not have done, because if he had a hearing, he probably would have been able to get his son in his temporary custody until the case is closed, and he would have probably permanent custody of his son. But as it goes with most child protective service cases, most DCF cases, parents are not aware of their rights. And they really don't have any way to be aware of their rights, because DCF is not honest or upfront about anything. They lie, and they manipulate, and they twist things, and they just like dig for anything that they can use against you to make you look like a bad parent, or to prove the reason why they're sustaining their allegations. The DCF supervisor is Faith Codden. Yes. Coddn, like cotton, but with D's. And the worker's name is Lindsay something or other, and the DCF attorney's name is Carrie Gertz. So anyway, he was advised to waive his rights to a hearing, and then given an action plan by DCF, which is the typical protocol, except that he never should have ended up in this situation in the first place. The baby should have been given to him when the baby was taken out of the mother's custody. So now here we are, and his lawyers are not. He's on his second attorney, and they are not. It's a public attorney. It's an appointed attorney, and I have no faith in the legal system, the judicial system, and even less faith in the family and probate court systems. They are lawless. They do whatever they want. You're not allowed to have witnesses in the courtroom. You're not allowed to have possession of your own case files. If you want to look at the files of your case, you have to do it with your lawyer present. You can't get a copy of it. You can't get it in an email, nothing. So it's just 110% completely corrupt, the entire process of everything that they do. So we went there. We had a protest outside. I went inside the building. So the Lawrence DCF office is an office inside of a massive building full of offices. And the Lawrence DTA office is in there too, the Department of Transitional Assistance, and which is like the food stamp office. So I went inside to try to use the bathroom by myself, with no camera, unfortunately, because we always stream live every time we do a protest or any type of direct action. And I left my camera outside because I wasn't trying to walk in and look like I was trying to be confrontational. I was just trying to use the bathroom. So I go to walk into the DCF office, and the private security stops me at the door of the DCF office. Like, I'm already inside the building, but I had to go upstairs to get to the DCF office. So he stops me at the door of the office. I mean, not DCF, DTA. And he says that I can't come in to the DTA. And I asked him why. And he said, because I was outside with the protesters. He's like, I saw you. You were outside with the protesters. And I'm like, so? Like, you can't discriminate against me. What are you talking about? Just because I was standing with protesters doesn't mean that I can't come inside of a public entity. Like, you can't do that. And whatever, he wouldn't let me in. He wouldn't let me use the bathroom. Whatever. I didn't have a camera on me, so I didn't, I don't believe in doing confrontation if you don't have a camera, because you can't prove that it happened. So I didn't bother. I went outside, grabbed my camera, and was like, well, he did tell me, like, if I'm not there for official business, then I'm not getting in. And so we did have official business in the DCF office. He was, the father was going in to file a notice to DCF. So I'm like, like, we might as well go try to file that notice now before they end up locking us out of the building because they think that we're trying to come in and, like, cause commotion in there, which is not what we're trying to do, right? So we get the paperwork out of the car, and 3 of us go in there, me and the father and Shannon. And to get into the DCF office, you have to go through the DTA. So we end up at the same door that I was at, and the same security guards, and now with, like, their supervisor blocking the doorway and not letting us in. And we're, like, holding up the forms that we're trying to serve to the DCF. And they're like, if you need to go to DCF, you can go around to the other door. So the other door is, like, on the other side of the building. And when I say that this building is massive, like, it's massive. Like, I have no idea how many offices, or I don't know if there's, like, apartments in this building or what, but this building spans for blocks and blocks. It's like, there's just, like, this massively long building, like, not even necessarily, I don't even think it's that high, but it's very long. So going to the other side of the building, like, it's like you're walking, like, 5 or 6 blocks to get to the corner. So, and even still, even if it wasn't long like that, everybody else is able to walk into the office. So you're discriminating against us. You're saying that because we were outside engaging in First Amendment, a protected activity, that we can't come into a public entity. So, we gave some pushback, and that's all on the live stream. And, per usual, we weren't blocking anybody from getting in or out. Other people were going in and out while we were standing there. The only people that were blocking the doors were the security guards. And it's just stupid, per usual. They would not let us walk through the DTA. So the father, Nathaniel, ends up saying that he's just going to go around to the other door. So me and Shannon stayed there because they were calling the police. So we stayed, and the father went to go to the other side to file his papers with somebody else. And we were waiting for the police to come. And then the police come, and we have some back and forth with the police. None of it makes any sense. These people are discriminating. They're not letting us in because we were protesting outside. And it's just so, like, we've been in this same situation like a million times over the past few years. And it's just so exhausting. Like, so Um, then at one point, one of the security guards says, "You might want to go outside. Your friend's getting arrested." And so we go outside, and Sean Nelson is being arrested. And then this girl, Carly, who was with us, who was just trying to simply ask the officer what Sean was under arrest for, and Sean was trying to hand Carly his phone, got grabbed and roughed around and thrown to the ground. Her whole face got like scraped across the ground, and she got arrested too. Sean is charged with disturbing the peace and resisting arrest, and Carly is also charged with disturbing the peace and resisting arrest. The officers had told us at first that Carly was being charged with interference, but she didn't get charged with that. And it's just, I mean, you can go watch the video on my Facebook. I have the better clip of Carly's like takedown, the takedown of Carly on my Twitter. But yeah, they both got arrested. It was ridiculous. They continue to use this token disorderly disturbing the peace charge against people who are engaging in First Amendment protected activity. And it's a big deal, especially for those of you who show up to every, Canton, Dedham, free Karen Reed, free Turtle Boy, all of this, Canton 9, it's cool that people show up to that stuff when it's a celebrity, but it happens every day to regular people. And it's really dangerous because we don't have free speech. The First Amendment doesn't exist, and people couldn't care less. And it's really disheartening. And it's important to fight for constitutional rights. It's important to fight for human rights. And people just don't see the importance of it. But yeah, so they both got arrested, charged with disorderly. And the Lawrence Police Department, these guys are disgusting. Lawrence police are not required to wear body cams yet. So they run amok. They are fucking crazy. The way that the fucking sergeant was talking to us was absolutely disgusting, horrendous. And I mean, if you go watch the video that I posted on my Twitter, the way that the sergeant like manhandles Shannon as there's two other officers manhandling Carly to the ground and scraping, like bashing her face off the ground. She was wearing sunglasses. Her sunglasses broke into pieces. She, I think, dropped her phone, her keys. It's disgusting the way that they just give no fucks about how they treat people, how they talk to people. And then, we weren't even allowed to like stand on the street. We were trying to walk up to the officers to get all their names and badge numbers, as we do every time we are approached by police. And they were screaming at us to get back on the sidewalk. I mean, we're literally like maybe 10 people. I don't even think we were 10 people, maybe 7 or 8 people, if that, holding signs and megaphones, yelling defund DCF and save baby Nate. And like, these officers are treating us as if we've just committed the worst of the worst crimes. And like absolutely screaming at us. This sergeant was like honestly degrading us, insulting us. Like, it was just disgusting. And then so they got arrested. They had like the $40 bail fee. And then when they got out, Carly well, I mean, I don't even know if she had any property since we managed to get her phone when she dropped it on the ground. Her sunglasses were broken. I don't know what else she had on her, but her keys, she didn't have her keys. Her keys were not in her property. So um, it was like, I want to say maybe even like up to 2 hours after they were released that she couldn't find her keys. They had gone back to the front of the DCF office to see if they were left on the ground. And then we find out that a bystander who was not even there to protest, somebody that was just walking by, or maybe she was going into the DCF office, I don't know, had taken video of what was happening outside. Because it did draw a little crowd of people who weren't there with us, or whatever, people that were just walking by, like, were stopping and taking videos of what was happening, because it was just like a full-on scene with all of the cop cars and their lights and the way that the cops were treating us and screaming at us. But so this bystander happened to get everything on video, and so we found the video of the sergeant picking up her keys. So we didn't get that until after the fact. When she first got released, she's asking the police in the police department, do you guys have my keys? They don't have her keys, they're telling her. She got her property bag, no keys. She asked all the cops, no keys. Sorry, we didn't see your keys. We don't know where your keys went. Don't know what to tell you. And then we find out like an hour and a half later from this bystander that we, thank God we got her number. We find out that the sergeant picked up her keys and took them. So luckily we have a picture, a video of the sergeant picking up her keys. And then the police are telling her that they don't have her keys, so then like 2.5 hours later, after them going back over to DCF office to search the ground for her keys and all of this commotion about the keys, they go back to the police station and the police are like, oh yeah, the keys got put into so-and-so officer's cruiser and he's done for the night. His cruiser's locked, so we're not going to be able to get them until tomorrow or whatever. So, yeah, you're right. The point is, why did they lie? Why did they lie about having her keys? They told her from the beginning that they didn't have her keys. But when she came back, they're like, oh yeah, they're locked in the cruiser. Sorry. Like, we need to stop accepting the unacceptable. We need to stop brushing all of these little things off because they seem so insignificant and so little. It's every tiny little piece of corruption that adds up to massive amounts of corruption, right? We wouldn't be able to be framing an innocent woman for murder of a Boston police officer if we weren't ignoring the everyday corruption that goes on. Oh, so she showed them the picture. That was when they said that the keys were locked in the cruiser, after she showed them the picture. So had we not gotten that picture, we would have never known that the sergeant picked up her keys and that the cops were lying. Their story changed when she showed them the picture. So it's like they're so messy and they don't even fucking try to hide it. They lied twice about the keys. Like, I'm so glad that I'm entertainment for you. Seriously. Yeah, so, what did she say? We need to share the social worker's name, Lindsay Burgess. I mean, I don't know about... Hold on, let me see what she said. Social worker is Lindsay Burgess. I think we need to put that info out to people. Sure. But I think that the DCF supervisor is more important, Faith Cotton, because the social worker, like, has no power over anything. She's just the one that reports back. So if you're gonna name somebody, I would name the supervisor, which is Faith Coddon, Coddon. That's the person that like calls the shots for everything in a DCF case, is the DCF supervisor. When calling DCF, you need the social worker's name. Okay. I can edit my thing. Yeah, so that's what happened today. It was ridiculous. Hold on, I'm just gonna edit this banner. Okay. Yeah, so that's what happened. I had made a post earlier about Nate belongs with dad, save baby Nate, and then I obviously had the live stream, so there were a whole bunch of people asking what happened. So I just wanted to come on here to say what happened so that I don't have to repeat the story a million times. Take it to social media, tag the social worker and the supervisor, get it out on their local town pages. Yeah. The only way to tackle this problem and to kind of make any progress in changing anything about this corrupt human trafficking system that we have going on here with DCF and Child Protective Services as a whole across the country and in the world is by the court of public opinion. We're never going to beat them in their own corrupt courts. We have to take it to the streets. We have to take it to social media. We have to be our own media. We have to tell the stories. You know, if you have a DCF story, it's really hard, I know, but the stories need to be shared. People need to support people. People need to push back and make big deals out of things that should have attention brought to them, like cameras in courts. We should be able to have our own record of what happens in court. A hearing in court is a public hearing. This is a public building. These are public hearings. Why can we not record in a courtroom like we can record in any other public setting? It doesn't make any sense. They're recording us. So it can only be recorded if they have complete control over the footage. You know, this is tyrannical rule. This is fascism. This is dictatorship. We should be able to have our own cameras in courtrooms. I mean, we tried to make that point a couple of court dates ago at West Roxbury Court. We were just taking a group photo in the lobby of the courthouse, and the court officers came huffing and puffing about, you can't take pictures in here. So we all pulled out our phones and started recording videos. That's what you need to do. You need to push back. When somebody gives you an unlawful or unconstitutional order, you need to challenge it. If imagine if everybody did the things that we do and the things that, some other people do with their audits and their pushbacks and public actions, then we could probably start making some progress. But when it's the same handful of people, I mean, it's exhausting. And, it's the process is the punishment. They start arresting us for absolutely nothing. And then you end up in court for years for something that doesn't even matter. Disturbing the peace. it's not even like there's not even potential jail time for these charges that we have in West Roxbury. It's a fine. If we get found guilty, it's $150 fine. Yeah, something needs to be done. Tons of things need to be done. People need to step up. And I mean, it's one thing for the masses of people who don't understand the severity of what's happening in the world, but it's a whole other thing for people who do understand. Like, you're the problem. If you know what's going on, if you know about Agenda 2030, if you know about how bad they are violating our rights at every single step and every single turn that they make, and you're not speaking up and you're not pushing back, if you're not trying to record in a courtroom and you're not trying to challenge an unlawful order given to you, then you're complicit in what they're doing, and you're basically agreeing with what they're doing. I can defend myself because I know the language, but I can't imagine all the families going through situations with these people, and they can't advocate for themselves. I know, and it's very few people who do tell their story and try to raise public awareness, and it's hard because there's judgment. Like internet trolls who shame you for being on welfare and for having DCF cases because they have nothing better to do with their days. So it is hard to tell your story and to try to bring awareness to a very sensitive situation, but unless more people start doing it, we're never going to get anywhere. Tell it. There's nothing special about me. Anybody has the ability to go live and talk. Anybody has the ability to start attending local civics meetings and get to know their neighbors and start to educate the next person on what's going on in the world. You just have to start talking, start telling people what's happening. That's literally the only way that we're gonna get out of this, if it's even a possibility for us to get out of, is by educating the next person. What is a civics meeting? A civics meeting is, just any kind of local meeting that happens, of people that are engaged with what's going on in their community, local politics. Some places have neighborhood associations. Some places, if you care to indulge the bullshit political establishment, people, they have Democratic committees and Republican committees, and there's all types of meetings for many things all the time. You just got to look. There's every municipality, every city and town has some type of civics engagement groups that are meeting somewhere, that are doing something. You just got to find it. You can search online, just type in your neighborhood or your city or your town and civic association or neighborhood association or civics meetings, or you could even start with the government. You could go to your city council meetings, or you could go to your town council meetings or whatever and network with the other people that go to those. And then maybe you'll find meetings that are happening outside of the government. I am running for office again. Thank you. Next year in 2025. So you get a whole another year to troll me. Congratulations. You're welcome. And social media can be a useful tool. That's funny. I And I said that right at the same time this comment came. Use social media, tell your story, and use the names of the social workers who harmed your family. Don't let them hide under the umbrella of DCF. Start using the names of who made the decisions. Yeah, definitely. Because that's the most effective tool is shaming and putting pressure on the people who are executing these ridiculous plans and protocols and procedures. And my last DCF case that I had in 2022, the DCF attorney moved to remove the children from my custody twice, and they failed both times, and I ended up getting the case dismissed by representing myself. And I had a social worker, I don't even remember his name off the top of my head, but I had a social worker who came to my home for my monthly visit, and I pulled out my camera and I said, just let you know, since I'm representing myself in my case now, I decided that I'm going to start recording our monthly visits just so that, I have it for my records and I have something to reference if I need it. And he ran out of my house so fast. And then I didn't hear anything from DCF for 2 months. The next time I got into court, the DCF attorney tried to make a motion to remove the kids from my custody, saying that I didn't allow them to conduct their visit, which was bullshit. And it was the DCF worker that just didn't want to be on camera. Well, you're in my house, and I have the right to record in my house. So you don't want to be on camera? I don't want to let you in my house. And he ran away, and then they failed with that motion to take my kids. And then the guy quit his job, and I had a new worker 2 months later after no visits for 2 months. So, I mean, I didn't even have to post a video of him on social media. Just by me pulling out my camera, it literally shamed him out of his job. Sometimes it can be that simple. He should have come back with the police. For what? For what? I don't understand what you get out of obsessing over me. I'm really not that interesting. I don't think so. This was when you were going through court. That was when, I had a case that lasted a year from 2022 to 2023 with DCF. And I went through 4 attorneys that I fired all 4 of them, and then I represented myself, and the case got dismissed because attorneys suck. We can't sue them. They have immunity. Your only recourse is to publicly out them, maybe, I think you meant. Yeah. They agreed to me recording them, but they have no expectation of privacy. You don't even have to tell them. Yeah, this is true. So I've had a case going on 1 year, all because I'm a victim of domestic violence. If you want to inbox me, and maybe we could do a live stream sometime and talk about it. If you don't want to do it by yourself, that's fine. I'm only putting these comments on the screen because this guy fucking blocks everybody, so none of my people ever get to see the things that he says to me. He literally spends his life talking about me. I don't know why. It's hilarious. But nobody ever gets to see his comments, so now you do. I don't talk to DCF without having someone else there to witness conversations after all I've been through with them. Yeah, I pull out the camera and record them. And then post it on social media and name names. Yeah, so I know. I know. Like, it's past midnight and this is what you're doing with your life. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, so that's what happened. Did I leave anything out? I don't know. I'm exhausted. The other people that were with me today were gonna come on the live, and then I ended up getting tied up in a million things and got on here like 2 hours later than I thought I would. So everybody was like ready to go to bed by the time I was ready to come on here. So I think that we're probably gonna do a live together tomorrow to talk about it with them. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if I left anything out, Shannon. If you want to add anything, I think I'm done. Cool. I'll look forward to your message, and maybe we can come on here and talk about it sometime. I'm tired. My brain is tired. Thanks for going over it. Yeah, I had to hold myself accountable today because I posted earlier when everybody kept. I was getting so many text messages and Facebook messages and comments on the video and stuff of people asking me about the baby Nate story, and people asking me about the arrests and the protests. So I was like, I'm just gonna make a post saying that I'm going live later to tell what happened, if anybody has any questions or whatever. And then I didn't even want to get on here, but I was like, I made a post that said I was coming on, so I gotta go. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you to Chip Goins for being a consumer of Vitale Enterprises, and I very much appreciate your support, and I look forward to your help with publicizing my campaign next year. Yeah, so thanks for watching. I think I'll be on here tomorrow with the other guys. If you have any time tomorrow, please call the Lawrence DCF office and let them know not to vaccinate baby Nate. And I think that there's a meeting of some sort on the horizon that may have been prompted because of our direct action today. So hopefully we'll have a positive update coming soon. But I'm still building a platform, so we're good over here. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll probably see you tomorrow. Good night.